Hello, everybody. This is Rich Ramirez coming to you not live from East Rosebud Studios in Billings, Montana, joined by my astute co-host, Brandon Booty.
What's up, everyone? Thanks for listening. We appreciate it as always.
Absolutely. And it's good to have you back. We took a break, and now we're going to get back into sobering up in Colombia.
Sobering up in Colombia.
That is correct. Part 3, Part 3. What is this? Season 2. Got to get this shit down.
Season 2, Episode 1, Part 3.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
That's it.
It's like a fucking comic book or something, right? So I left off with just kind of talking about the accommodations that a float provides, including really the delicious food, the staff, the guiding. And, through everything that I dealt with coming to Colombia legally and all of that, it's funny, once I got there, it went away. Because, that fucking jungle environment is intense. You're in Primavera, and then you hop in these, four-wheel drives, these Land Cruisers, whatever, and you make that kind of dirt drive into that river. And once you get to that river, and you get into that stream bed, it's just everything else is fucking gone.
You're present in the moment.
Could not have said that better. Booty. Present. Just like that. Fuck the other 8 billion folk. Kidding.
I mean, that's a nice feeling to have right there,
But, it's just that kind of, that river, that environment, that scene just kind of puts you there. And the whole motivation for getting to that feeling are those peacock bass. I've yacked for 30 fucking minutes, said nothing, and really haven't mentioned peacock bass. That's the whole point in going to Colombia. That's the whole point in going to the Tomo River. That's the whole point of defying a contempt of court order. That's the whole point of pissing off my wonderful ex's fucking lawyer, who's, I've mentioned, is, he's a badass. Hire him. Say it again. Okay? It's worth me getting fired by my lawyer, who's a good professional, competent professional. Once you get in that stream bed, all that idiocy I didn't fucking matter. Because I knew then that I was in the environment to hunt those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's for a streamer guy, a streamer angler, the Tomo River and the peacock bass fishing. I did the Bolivia thing, which was epic, but because it was on foot. But the Tomos are right there, because basically you are just fishing the whole time. Right? It's not the salt water. Yeah. It isn't. It's just that type of deal. You're just constantly throwing to structure. You're constantly throwing to shallow to depth transition spots. And, I fished it with, I fished it with a 9 weight, which I fished it a year ago with a 10 weight. And it just kind of tires you fucking out fishing that 10 weight for 10 hours a day. Bam, bam, bam. Holy shit, man. You can't even lift your casting arm. So I sized down, which the fish are manageable. The nicer fish are manageable with a 9, no problem. And, I ended up, in the first 2 days, I ended up breaking my 2 fucking 9 weights.
Oh.
One because I was like, moving around on the front of this deck area, trying to get this fucking, video of this huge jungle eagle. No shit. Motherfucker's got like a 8-foot wingspan or something.
Damn.
Eats monkeys and shit. So, and I ended up breaking one, and then my boat partner ended up busting the other one in this weird exchange on the boat. But, so just like that, from 4 rods in my possession, I'm down to 2 with a few days to go. And my first day out, I stuck a 10-pounder before lunch, which, we kind of call, qualifying fish on the Tomo to me, who's got 12 days fishing there, is 10 pounds or bigger is a qualifying fish, right? A 10-pounder is certainly not a 15-pounder, but a 10-pounder is a nice, hard fighting, you better be, you better be paying attention to land the fucker, because, you know, the thing about peacock bass is, especially oversized ones, you can get a blow up, but it's that bulldoggy brown trout, go to the bottom, really nose down, just down try to get me, motherfucker. You know, it's that type of mean type fight. And what's cool about those bigger peacocks, 10, 12, 14, 16 pounds, is you end up, initially you may not know what you have. You know, sometimes the bug hits the water and boom, they're on. But a lot of times it's a long distance retrieve. Something subtle eats it. You're getting into, you know, getting some tension in there right away. And then, okay, not much. And then you motherfucking, you know, try to lift, you know, am I stuck or what's the deal? And when it ends up being real, meaning not being stuck with wooded whatever, right? Damn. You know, at that point, it can be funky because you can just immediately feel their weight.
Yeah. So it sounds like it takes a while for them to realize, like, oh, shoot.
It can be, but you can also put it there, take one strip, and they're on. Boom. Okay. And they're moving. So it's just, they're not easy to fish for. Colombia, the Tomo River, in my experience, and I definitely know how to fish with streamers, I mean, it isn't some like big volume bang, you know, cookie cutter 3-pounder, you know, cast boom bang, cookie cutter 3-pounder, where you have 80 fish a day, like I've heard can go down in some of the fisheries in Brazil. But the thing about the Tomo is that the Tomo, both as far as structure, clarity, beauty, lack of development whatsoever, nobody around, all that, I'm not going to fish anywhere for peacocks anywhere other than with a float in Colombia. Yeah, I mean, you're really in it. And so when you get into those nicer fish, which to me, 1 or 2 shots a day.
At a 10-pounder?
Yeah, I think that kind of seemed to be what it was, unless fishing was particularly off for some reason. It's just that thing is, you know, you fish, and at some point your number comes up. At some point, you know, something eats it good. And this is an interesting thing. I fished with this cat, Mike, who was he's a competent, you know, lure guy. I don't think he's a pro or anything, but way competent. And it was cool to see the fucking crazy action of these lures, you know. I mean, because they're streamers on a spin rod, right? It's that kind of thing. It was kind of interesting to watch this. Here's my point. He had nowhere near the luck I did with flies. Like nowhere,
that's interesting.
Yeah, with nowhere near the luck I did with flies, and that wasn't, you know, that ain't because I'm anything great. It's just that they definitely prefer natural imitations better, and I saw that with my own 2 eyes.
Yeah, that's interesting. Right
This
there.
motherfucker,
I would never guess,
dude. He was casting crazy shit, including some of these motherfucking Rapalas that have got 2 treble hooks on it that are, you know, would ruin a nutsack. You understand?
Yeah.
You don't want to get foul hooked with those motherfuckers. I mean, they're a vicious, mean hook. I mean, some of the fish he did catch, a lot of it was kind of a foul hook thing. Not because he ran it through them, but just because, you know, those fucking treble hooks on a swivel are lethal. Right?
Yeah.
Didn't matter. For somebody that fished equally with him, I had way more opportunities at nicer fish, and that's because I was fishing this fucking bait fish pattern and I was stripping it. It just was interesting to me how,
That's very interesting, because a lot, like, you talk to, you know, people who do like design streamers and make streamers, they always like, we wish we can imitate the Rapala, you know?
He caught a good one. I mean, he caught, like, I think it was a 12, 13 pounder laid. So he caught a good one. But he didn't get the eats with the quality fish that I did. And again, my fish, basically this fire tiger streamer that, you know, Cootie Cameron, our staff, ties on a 3-aught hook. And you didn't fucking eat anything else the whole week.
That's pretty cool right there.
Yeah, I mean, we switched up, and one of the guys in camps is Italian goddamn Jesus. He just is.
Was he on part of your group?
No, but he was a good dude, and he tied his name. Yeah, you know, his name was Tom, and I don't know if he commercially ties or what, but he did a great fucking job. I mean, his bugs were just gorgeous. But I still fished with what I caught fish on his flies, but this one fire tiger one was the bug I had the most confidence with.
Yeah, confidence goes a long way.
That's right. And then so what ended up happening is on Tuesday and Wednesday, if I've even got those fucking days right, who knows now, but I ended up really not doing that great. I ended up catching, you know, that nice 1.5 to 3, maybe a 4-pounder, you know, got 8, 10, 12 of those in the day, but no grandes. And that's really kind of what you call them, is grandes. There's a young gentleman by the name of Logan that went on this trip with me, who really, for me, made the trip. The kid's got balls. Kid's got balls. I'll tell you why. Because, you know, I do a fair amount of recruiting for trips. And the reality of it is that he stepped up, paid the dough, because he wanted to experience what this could be. And he got, I don't know if it was Tuesday or Wednesday, his number came up. He ended up landing an 18-pound. Go to our Instagram page and check out him and Cameron's reaction once they saw this fish. They've got it on video, and it's a great video because it shows you when I talked about getting that hook into him and then not knowing right away what you really have.
Yeah.
It could fucking be that guy, pretty as fuck, but just still that guy. Or it could be this guy, right?
Yeah.
And that lift up is what that video shows. And that was an 18-pound boga grip Wade, really fish of the camp's year. Yeah, I don't think
a big fish
on
right
a fly, nobody's weighed an 18-pounder this season until Logan did. And he's a good angler, so it makes sense, but it's just the reality of getting into that type of career fish. And on that same day, his boat partner, Cameron, popped, I think it was a 13-pounder. So you get your shots at those fish every day, but you're not fucking going there and catching 4 15-pound plus peacocks a day.
That'd be insane.
Right. So my Tuesday and Wednesday was soft. Again, worked hard. We just didn't find any. We just didn't get into any. And, and here I am, just, fucking, going, fuck, where's my grande? That kind of thing. And finally on Thursday morning, it all finally came together for me where I ended up catching an 11, a 16, and a 17-pounder all before lunch.
I mean, that's...
I didn't do anything different, but they were also, again, if you go to our Instagram page, you'll see some of the color dynamics on these fish are just crazy. Like, I've been lucky enough to catch these kind of humpback bright green ones that they're some of the, what a pleasure to get a chance to hoist this fish for a second and let it go. I'll have Lydia edit that shit in, but it's really cool. Yeah, it's really kind of something that's a big deal, because these fish are so worth it to travel to fish for. Even if you're not a bass fisherman in the States or in North America, forget that. For fresh water, it's a trip, and it's not easy. But you get so much if you like to streamer fish, because you're fucking doing it all day. You're doing it to the point of, God, it's 4:45 in the afternoon. This motherfucker will keep me out here another 45 minutes, but I think I'm done. I don't. You get it?
Yeah.
I just can't do it another time. I just can't. I can't. I want to, but I can't.
I wish I could, but I can't.
Right. You get it? It's I just right? I mean, and again, it can happen at any time as far as getting into those nicer fish. The wooded structure seems to be where it all comes from. Getting into those pools, getting into those, we fished the river a certain period of time, but like I said earlier, it was really the ponds and the pools where we really targeted fish.
It sounds like a lot like a largemouth bass fishing, huh? As far as the structure and everything.
It's exactly what it fucking is. And the fun thing is, I did have one popper morning. That's right. I had one morning where I definitely got my top water buzz, right? There's also another experience where there's a creek that comes in. It's big. It's kind of like, let's say, Rock Creek with water in it.
Okay. Yeah.
You can get a boat up it if you're smart and careful, that kind of thing. there was enough water for us to navigate up into this thing, and it was fucking crystal clear. It was crystal clear. And it gave me the opportunity to literally sight cast to a couple of oversized fish.
Dang, that's fun.
It was.
That's gotta be fun
It was, and and to really kind of follow them for a minute. They weren't scattery per se or nervous right away, but I kind of lined over them. I was the only one in the boat that saw them, but the fuckers weren't even in a foot of water. Whew.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Dude, I'll never forget that. Plus the holding water for these peacock bass is like, again, if you're a streamer guy, it's fucking, it'll just make your day, right? It'll make your day. So speaking of making my day, that Thursday morning, pop those 3 fish, continue to do well in the afternoon, but nothing, again, oversized. So we ended up having one more day left on Friday. And about our morning consisted of going into one of these ponds where you have to walk from the main river maybe 50 yards on foot through jungle, no problem, right? Get to the other side. There's this kind of soft rubber, it's kind of a tough little boat that we were going to now electric motor around this big back pool here, right? And this is my last chance to really do anything. At this point, you want to come home. You want to come home. It's day 6 of fishing. You're beat down. My boat partner at lunch was like, fuck it. I think I vape too much. I don't feel that great. Right? I'm going to have, the dude that brings our lunch to us in the middle of fucking nowhere. So it isn't just the guide having our lunch in a cooler. Oh, no.
Yeah, they meet you somewhere.
They send somebody with a fresh cooked lunch within the hour out to us in the middle of nowhere, including this back pond to eat. So anyway, I'll finish this up on episode 4, Sobering Up in Colombia. Thanks, everybody.